Hi, in this video, I would like to look at how we go about working with actual interest. Interest is the amount money increases by. As an example, let's say that Peter invests $30 and after 2 years he has $50. His investment has gained interest of $20 because if we take the final amount of 50 less the initial amount of 30, we are left with 20. Please be careful. Actual interest is not the interest rate, nor is it the value of I. Actual interest is the difference between the amount of money you invest in the beginning and the amount of money you have at the end of an investment. To find actual interest, we subtract the amount of the initial investment, which we know is P, from the total amount at the end of the investment, which we know is A. So we can say interest is equal to A minus P. You can also use this formula when working with A or P. You can make A the subject, and we get A is equal to P plus interest. Or you can make P the subject and we get P is equal to A less the interest. Let's make some space and we can make a note of these equations up here. Now we can look at some examples of how we work with actual interest. Calculate the simple interest earned on investing $3,000 at 6% per annum for 4 years. We need to find the interest, and to do that we subtract P from A. So let's look at the information the question gives us. You are investing $3,000. This is your initial amount. It takes on our P value. Say P is equal to 3,000. You invest at a rate of 6% per annum. This is our I value. We can say I is equal to 6 divided by 100, which gives us 0,06. The duration of the investment is 4 years, so N is equal to 4. Now we don't have an A value, and this is the first thing we need to find. And we can use the formula for simple interest. So we can say A is equal to P, which is 3,000, multiplied by 1 plus the value of I, 0,06, multiplied by N, which is 4. Close the bracket. Now, outside our bracket, we have 3,000. Inside our bracket, we have 0,06 multiplied by 4, which gives us 0,24 plus 1, and we get 1,24. Multiply these values together, and we get an answer of 3,720. This is our A value. Now we have A and we have P, so we can find interest. So we're going to say A, 3,720, minus P, which is 3,000, and we get an answer of $720. This is the interest gained on the investment. Let's do another example. Brittany invests $3,600 with her bank. At the end of 4 years, Brittany has acquired $1,008 in simple interest. What was the interest rate provided by the bank? This question is asking us to find the interest rate. So we can use the simple interest formula where I is the subject. Let's see what information the question gives us. Brittany invests $3,600. This is our principal amount. So you can say P is equal to 3,600. At the end of 4 years, so N is equal to 4. Brittany has acquired interest of $1,008. Now, in order to solve for I, we have to have an A value. And to find our A value, we're going to look at our equations up here. A is equal to P plus interest. So we can say A is equal to P, 3,600, plus the interest of 1,008. And we see that A is $4,608. Now that we have a P, N, and an A value, we can solve for I. So we say I is equal to A, 4,608, over P, 3,600, minus 1, all over N, which is 4. 4,608 divided by 3,600 gives us 1,28. So let's subtract the 1 and we get 0,28. Divided by 4, 0,28 divided by 4 gives us 0,07. This is our I value. So to find the interest rate, we say 0,07 multiplied by 100. We get an answer of 7%. Let's do another example. D takes out a loan of $12,000 at an interest rate of 8% per annum. D calculates that in order to pay off her loan in full, she would need to pay $5,760 in interest. How long does it take for her to pay off her loan? The question is asking us to find the duration of the loan, so we need to solve for N. And we can use the formula for simple interest, where N is the subject. Let's see what information the question gives us. D takes out a loan of 12%. It's the initial amount, and it takes on our P value. So we say P is equal to 12,000. The interest rate is 8% per annum. So to find I, we say 8 over 100, and we get 0,08. D calculates that in order to pay her loan off in full, she will need to pay $5,760 in interest. We can use this amount to find the value of A, because A is equal to P plus the interest. So we say A is equal to P, 12,000, plus the interest of 5,760. Add these values together and we get $17,760. Now we have a P, I, and A value, and now we can solve for N. So we say N is equal to A, 17,760, over P, 12,000, minus 1, all over I, which is 0,08. 17,760 divided by 12,000 gives us 1,48. So let's subtract the 1 and we get 0,48 over 0,08. Now we can divide 0,48 by 0,08 and we get an answer of 6. It will take D 6 years to pay off her loan. Let's do one more example that is a little bit more difficult. A bank offers Christopher a simple interest rate of 12% per annum. After 5 years, he earns $510 in simple interest. How much did Christopher invest? The question is asking us to find the principal amount. So we know that we can use this formula up here. Let's see what information the question gives us. The bank offers a rate of 12% per annum. It's our I value. So we say I is equal to 12 divided by 100, and we get 0.12. Christopher invests for 5 years, so N is equal to 5. Now in this case, we need to solve for P, but we don't have an A value, and we don't want to leave A in the formula as it is, because this will leave us with 2 unknown variables that we cannot solve for. So let's have a look at our equations over here, and we see that A is equal to P plus the interest, and the question tells us the interest is $510. So we can say that A is equal to P plus 510. And now we have enough values to solve for P. And we can say P is equal to our value for A, which we've now said is P plus 510. So let's put that up here, over 1 plus I 0.12, put into a bracket, multiplied by N, which is 5. Now we can say P is equal to, in our numerator, we have P plus 510. We cannot add these values together. So right now, let's just leave this as P plus 510. Over, in the denominator, we can multiply 0.12 and 5, and we get 0.6. So add the 1, and we get 1.6. And now we have an equation where we can solve for P. So the first thing we need to do, just like in algebra, is get rid of the fraction. And we can do this by multiplying both sides by 1.6. You can say multiplied by 1.6, multiplied by 1.6. On the left, we now have 1.6 P is equal to, and on the right, these 1.6 will cancel out, and we're left with P plus 510. Our next step is to put our P terms on the one side of the equation. So we can say 1.6 P. Let's move this P across. We can say minus P is equal to 510. Now we have 1.6p minus 1p. 1.6 minus 1 leaves us with 0.6. So we get 0.6p is equal to 510. Finally, to get p by itself, we divide both sides by 0.6. So I can say over 0.6 and over 0.6. On the left, these values will cancel out, and we're left with P is equal to 510 divided by 0.6. And if we divide 510 by 0.6, we get an answer of 850. This is the original amount that Christopher invested. So don't forget to put in our currency. And this is our final answer.